Today we're going to be talking about why only emasculated men do dinner first dates with men they don't know. Sorry, with women they don't know. Man, I butchered that intro. We're going to have a lot of fun on this one. And it's a very triggering topic, apparently. And I know that I am over target here because this is one of these topics where I got a whole bunch of really triggered, unhappy women that are complaining on my page because I made a couple posts about it on Facebook. Wow, I mean, I love those. Those are my favorite ones. Those are my favorite when everybody gets angry because that means that there's something that's going on there. There's a whole bunch of beliefs that men or women are clinging on to, and now they need to defend them against me. Well, we're going to talk about it. What is going on here? Why would I make this statement? Right? Especially for the women, for many of the women, it can be confusing because you've been following me for some length of time. And I'm like, a man should be paying for all the dates. And, he's 50-50 guy. He's a boy and don't tolerate that crap at all. And then I'm throwing you a curveball here. A man should never go out to dinner on a first date with a woman he doesn't know and pay for it or do it at all. Because obviously if he is doing it, he should be paying for it. So what's coming up here, there's a lot of things to unpack. There's a lot of entitled women that have showed up on these posts when I've made them that think that they are feminine. And I can feel it in their energy, super masculinized, lots of entitlement that's going on. If they're with men, I can guarantee you the women are actually the ones that are in control and the man is almost certainly covertly submitting, which means he's providing, but he's the emasculated guy that's just being controlled and submitting to her feelings and expectations. Men do not want, smart men, masculine men definitely do not want those kind of women. They don't want a woman who is entitled to what they are providing. Any kind of entitlement just totally kills the desire to actually provide, to take care of a woman. And the only men that are going to tolerate that are the ones that they're supplicating, they're weak, they are trying to make up for their self-perceived value deficiency where they don't think they're good enough on their own, so they got to take out their wallet. And the thing is, a man should be paying, but it should be done as a gift, not to make up for any lack of self-perceived value. That's the difference. So I'm going to give you my perspective on this, on these first dates. So first of all, one of the things that a woman brought up is that a man should be vetting the woman first by, having a call with her. Yeah, 100%. I agree. Right. Whenever I was dating women, typically I would text a little bit as soon as I kind of assumed that she was comfortable enough to get on a call. Ideally, back in the day, it was like Skype or something, and like Zoom or whatever, right? I want to actually see her face so I can really get a good idea of her energy and everything. That's what I would do, right? Because think of it this way, from a man's perspective, he's busy. A masculine man, healthy, that sought out from women, he's going to be busy. He's going to be on his purpose. He's going to be have many options from women, right? He's going to be looking for the best woman that he can get, the most feminine, the most vulnerable, the least entitled, someone that he can truly cherish. And so he should be screening if he's smart about it, right? Because he wants to not waste his time. And if he just sends a few texts and then he's like, hey, I'm going to go get ready to meet up with you. You have no idea. Like I've dated, or I've met thousands and thousands and thousands of women, and only a small percentage, like very small percentage, could I actually envision some kind of future with, right? I want to save as much time as possible. So screening out by getting on a quick call, is going to be useful just to make sure that she can actually hold some kind of basic conversation, that she has some kind of sense of humor in some kind of way, right? But the problem is a call is not going to give enough information. And I'm not talking about like facts about a woman. I'm talking about just really knowing if this is the kind of woman that he wants to continue dating, is not going to be giving enough information. A call is still very limited. It's way better than text. It's still far inferior to actually meeting up in person. And yes, a man could spend like 3 hours on a call really getting to know her to make sure that she's worth going on a date with and spending money on, and being stuck in that situation for an hour and a half, 2 hours, that's going to be a good use of his time and his money. But then he spent 3 hours on a call trying to get to know her that well. Something that he could have just gone out and spent like 15 minutes, the same amount of time, to really get a good sense of things, right? So what I did now, and to be fair, I want to be fair here, back then I would not have considered myself like a embodied masculine man. There's issues that I had, leading selfishly, being stingy, all that kind of stuff that are no longer issues, and I wouldn't be directing men to be doing either, right? For those reasons. But my behavior was actually similar to what I would do now, which is I'm going to get to know someone in a very low pressure environment where I can bail as soon as I realize this is a waste of my time and waste of my money, which means a coffee or an ice cream or some kind of drink or whatever. It could be like a quick lunch as well, depending on where it is and the time to get the lunch and all that stuff. It depends. But my goal would be for a first date is this a woman that I want to invest in? That would be the mindset. Is this a woman that I want to invest in? Is this a woman that I want to invest my time in and my money in? And if it's not, I want to bail as soon as possible, because I'm a busy guy with lots of options, right? I'm not saying me, but I'm saying like that would be the mindset of a masculine man. I'm married, so it's not relevant. I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to waste my money. I want to get the heck out of there and see, maybe go on another date with a woman, find somebody else. A really high value man, he's going to be dating probably several women per week, right? You think he's going to be spending $100+ per woman per date? He's going to be spending $300, $400 and hours of his time on these dinner dates? No, of course he's not. Emasculated men do that. Right? Men who are getting one date every month, they're doing that because they're going to try to really impress her and with his wallet and make sure that she sticks around. And she's going to feel that more submissive, emasculated energy. He's a provider, but he's a beta provider, right? He's not a dominant provider. There's a world of difference between the two. Now, I will give one exception though, okay? Because we got to think, why am I suggesting do these quick dates? Low cost, low financial cost, and low time cost. Well, it would be in situations where it's relatively easy to meet up with a woman, right? So for example, when I lived in Toronto, there's going to be women that are relatively close to me within 30 minutes, let's say. So it's relatively easy to pick a location and meet up with them. Now, and granted, here's the other thing. If I like them, here's what I'd recommend for men if I actually like the woman, assuming that both the man and woman have enough time to continue to get to know each other. Oh, you go take her for a walk, you go to the park, you really find out, man, this woman is cool. I like her. I want to continue dating her. And then if you guys have time, great, take her to a dinner date. I did that tons of times, actually. Even back when I was a cheapskate, I did that, right? And I would certainly do it now. Because now it's like, now the man feels in his body that like, I want to take care of this woman. I want to make her feel really special, right? Because he can feel her submission. He can feel her vulnerability, her femininity. Now it's not just this social obligation thing where it's like, this is what's supposed to happen. It's, I want to open up my wallet and take care of this woman, right? That's the energy at that point. Now, of course, if a man is stuck in his own development, he might not feel that, but I'm talking about healthy men. That's what he would eventually feel. And then it's like, hey, you know what? You are awesome. I'm having so much fun with you. Tell me, do you have plans the next few hours? Because I want to take you out right now, and we're going to go out and get dinner. Like while they were already on their coffee date or their whatever date, right? And then it's turned into something else. And here's the other thing. Before I go in, there is one other thing I want to say, but before we go into it, my opinion is this is actually serving the woman as well, because women women don't want to be stuck with guys that are super emasculated and can't hold a conversation either, right? Pretty much every woman has been stuck in that situation. And contrary to what most men believe, it's not worth it just to get a free dinner from most of those women, right? So so you're creating a low commitment environment for the two of you, where either of you can bail if you're not a match for each other, right? That's actually a gift to a woman, and that's how I see it. It's a gift to a woman. So it's very low commitment, and then you can choose together. Hey, we like each other. Let's go do some other stuff. Let's spend. I'm going to spend some more money on you, and then if you take it from there. So here's where the exception is, because I don't see this as fully black and white. I think there are exceptions. Let's say that the woman lives an hour and a half away from the man, right? And let's say that the man is going to do the traditional thing and pick up the woman, or like choose something that's very near her place or whatever. And I think that he should. Well, now you're in a situation where the time investment just to travel is quite extensive, right? Does it make sense for a man to travel an hour and a half just for his 30-minute booked off spot to grab a cup of coffee, or 45 minutes or whatever? No, it doesn't really make sense at all. So what a man should do in those situations is actually do a much better job of vetting on a call, right? I would actually recommend, well, put in like an hour, be like pretty sure from the call that this woman is not just an entitled boss babe that thinks that you should take her out for dinner, right? Be pretty sure that she is a cool, feminine woman with feminine self-worth that's really fun to vibe with and talk to. And then, once you're at that point, be like, okay, I'm taking you out for dinner, or at least take her out for lunch, right? Because you're traveling pretty far to make that happen. So that just makes sense at that point. So it's not fully black and white. There's a range of what actually makes sense. But here's the gist, right? Here's the bottom line. Men don't want to waste their money on women that just because she's a woman, just because she has a vagina, just because that is the social etiquette or whatever, even though it's not even really so much today because of feminism, but it still kind of is, because it's just the way that it is. Men don't want to do that. Men have limited resources, and they want to spend those resources on what makes the most sense. Okay. Dominant men are not going to fall into those social obligations just because that's what is expected of them, especially if it's expected of them from the woman. It is not. Right? They're going to make smart choices with their money, smart choices with their time. They have a lot of options. They're going to choose the best option that they have available to them. And then if their heart is online and they're a good man and they're responsible and they love taking care of a woman, then once he has chosen, hey, I think there's a reasonable chance it's something like there's a future with this woman, then he's going to be generous and have no problem spending money and not let the woman pay for any of the dates, not let women pay for any of the woman pay for any of the dates because he wants to do it, right? And now it'll actually feel good to be spending his money because he's spending money not on someone that's like there's some random chance that maybe in a blue moon they'll actually hit it off and she'll become his girlfriend, right? It's like, oh, there's like a 1% chance here. No, now it's like there's a reasonable chance. Like I'm feeling this. I like this woman. I feel attracted to this woman. I feel connected to this woman. This is like a 25, 50%, more than 50% thing. Yes, I still need to get to know her more, but right now I'm investing because I think that I think this could be the right woman. Big difference. Yeah. So any women, it's funny how, of course, it's now the man. It always flips, right? Depending on who I'm talking about, what I'm saying, it's like the men are really supportive and then a whole bunch of women get triggered, or the women are really supportive, the men get triggered. Yeah, this is actually one of the great reasons why I think you should find someone who coaches both men and women, because there's two perspectives here. And when you're only coaching one, you can get like tunnel vision and not have the full perspective on how things are supposed to go and why. Um, if you're a woman that is triggered by this idea, well, it's fine. There's it's unlikely that you're going to actually find a dominant man, because I don't know a single guy that, if it's actually easy to just meet up, like if you guys are in a close location, that he's going to do this elaborate dinner date with a woman that he's never actually met before. That's just dumb. It's dumb, and it's emasculating. That's all it is. But the problem is, and the problem here's one of the issues. Before I finish this up, I've got a lot of women followers whose feminine instincts are very online and are fantastic women, and like a lot of those women actually end up being my clients. There's definitely a lot of other women though that follow me, and they enjoy the good stuff that I say about how men are boys, and you're 50-50 is you're emasculated, and all this stuff, right? Is music to their ears. But then they're not able to see the other side. They're not able to see the other perspective that I'm giving them, right? The triggering perspective. And this is one of them. This is one of those triggering perspectives that a woman needs to be more open to, and see what things are like from a man's perspective. As a man, I don't want to spend $120 on a date with a woman that I don't know, that I've never seen in person. I don't truly know exactly what she's looked like. I may have seen some pictures or whatever. I don't truly fully know her energy. Even if I've done a call with her, that's just not the same thing. I'm not going to do that. I'm worth more than that. But one of the things that women do is they've got this, they really confuse, and maybe I'll do another video on this, but to wrap up, they confuse self-worth, feminine self-worth, with entitlement. Sorry, entitlement with self-worth, where it's like, I deserve all this stuff from a man. This man has to do all of these things for me to date him. That's not self-worth. Your standards, your expectations, that's being a man. Okay, that is not self-worth. Now, I'm not suggesting that women be doormats. I'm not suggesting that women just accept crumbs from a man who doesn't really consider them, who just leads selfishly, and is stingy, and not willing to spend money on her and all of this stuff. I'm not suggesting that. There's a beautiful place that is on neither side of that kind of false dichotomy of options. And it is where a woman has feminine self-worth. And you can feel in your body when a man likes you and is putting in enough reasonable effort. So here's an example. I'm giving out lots of gold here, by the way, so I hope everyone's paying attention, both the men and women. For example, if the man's like, hey, you're really cool, I like you, I want to get to know you better in person, I'm taking you out for a coffee, tell me where you live, I'm going to pick a coffee shop right nearby, and we're going to go. That's a man who isn't willing to invest a huge amount at that moment, as far as time and money, because he wants to get to know you first, which is a smart thing to do if he's got lots of options. But he's still being a man. He's leading, and he's leading in a considerate way, right? He's the one that's making your life easier. He's picking somewhere that's really nearby, so you just have to leave your place or whatever and just come out. Or if he's picking you up, then he's putting in that effort of driving and everything. Look at all that effort he's putting in, right? He's showing that he's able to show up as a man. Nothing wrong with that at all. But if a man's like, hey, yeah, you're cool, we should hang out, let's get coffee, I know a great place near right outside my apartment, and she lives like 40 minutes away. What's that? That's crumbs. He's not putting in effort for you. It's totally different. Yes, it was coffee both times. It's coffee both times, but the logistics, the rest of the logistics are really, really important. the fine, small details. Women need to pay attention to this stuff. And I've done this, right? When I was leading selfishly, I would do this. I would very often pick coffee spots close to where I lived because I was lazy, because I knew I could get away with it, because I know that most women would do it because of, I was personable and lots of other great stuff. So they would do it, and and because I was very direct and dominant in many ways, just in a selfish way. And so for women, they shouldn't submit to that leadership. Why? Not because she has a standard. It's not about having standards, because that's masculine. It's about, if she's feeling into her body, she's going to feel some sadness, or maybe even some anger, or fear or something, right? That if she knows how to read her body, is pointing towards a judgment, right? But basically what she's perceiving is, oh, I might not be being considered here. I'm not being considered. And that's an important thing for a woman to pay attention to, because she can't just submit to anything. And that's when she needs to start using feminine communication. You don't necessarily ditch the guy right there. He might actually still be a cool guy. Maybe he's just not thinking. Maybe he just needs a woman to inspire him to step up more if she's actually vulnerable and honest and everything. And maybe not. And if he's not, okay, you can leave, flow away, and find someone else. But if you use feminine communication, share what's going on, you see what kind of man you're really dealing with. You see if he's willing to consider you. Maybe he just thought that the coffee spot nearby him was really cool and he knew it already. But yeah, women, I don't want women to waste their time either, right? Women's time is also valuable. A woman's time is just as valuable as a man's. Okay, so it's not just about the man. I'm giving both perspectives here, but there's nothing wrong with a lower investment first date to get to know someone first, as long as he's still putting in effort in a different way. But you need to learn. Here's the thing, ladies, to learn to navigate all this stuff, both men and women, but you need to learn polarized communication. You need to really see this to be able to read a man, but also for yourself to communicate your needs, your feelings, everything that's coming up for you. To not get stuck with low value men that don't really care about you, to not accidentally flow away from men that would have actually been cool guys. That's what we teach you in our polarized communication masterclass. Our next one is in less than 2 weeks, and we will be showing you everything about how to communicate in a beautiful, vulnerable way, which won't just be important for dating. It will also be important for when you get into a relationship with a great guy who does want to provide for you, so that you don't get in arguments and screw everything up and push them away. All right, polarized communication, we will teach you, and then we will show you on role plays what it looks like, what this communication looks like in action, to start solving problems that do come up on dates, that do come up in relationships, so you can make your dating life or relationship life so much easier. Men as well, same deal. Go to relationshipyourdreams.com, relationshipofyourdreams.com, and book a spot. It's on the main page. Just scroll down. You'll see it. Book a spot for our masterclass. Show up, and it will be a massive step forward in transforming your love life. I'll see you there. That's it for this video.